Hello, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Fit and Fab Celeb, and in today's video, as you can see from the title, we're going to talk about the athlete's mindset. I got thinking, recently, and I decided to put this just few words out there, just so you can learn one or two things from it, and apply them towards your goals, your life, anything that you wish to achieve. Um, Starting with, I'm going to give you a backstory of myself. Starting when I was a youth, I was pretty much an active youth. You can consider me as such. When I was in school, when I was in secondary school, that's what I can recall clearly. I was participating in lots of sports. I even got injured. I still have some scars because I'm a very scary person. I get easily scarred. Yeah, so I got involved in a lot of sports. I enjoyed, being physically active, and then that translated into my, youthful life. When I found myself in the eastern part of my country, in Nigeria, where I come from, there was nothing like gym facility or anything like that. I still found a way to keep myself active. Then I would, take my cousin along. We'll just jog to a very nice field close to a secondary school there. We'll do some exercises. And I was always the person who would be at the forefront, saying, let's go, let's do this, let's do that, and it was fun. And then I moved back to the city, and then I got a job before I went into college. Got into college, it even became much better because in college, we had this competition that comes up every 3 years. So I was opportune to be part of the athletes that competed those competitions. And I was in more than one group. I was playing basketball, I was playing football, volleyball, tennis, badminton, everything. I was doing everything because I just love that element of being physically active. I just love the idea of health and fitness. So I continued in this path, and I was easily maintaining my weight. I wasn't doing like any extra inputs to do that. I was easily maintaining my weight. I had flat abs. I even boasted about it. I remember boasting about it to my church group one time, when I was encouraging them to look after themselves. Yes, I had flat tummy, clothes fit nicely. It was great moments. And then I finished college, and then started making more extra change and looking after myself a bit more. And then I sort of started adding on more weight. Meanwhile, when I was in college, I added some weight, but it wasn't that bad. But I still find myself, doing some diets just to make sure everything is nice and tight. So I added some weight when I finished college, when I was doing my internship. And then fast forward to the time I moved to the UK, and that is when all hell broke loose. Not giving excuses, just identifying, my environment and the things that may have contributed to how my health went then. Got to the UK, started my job. My first job in the UK was the most stressful job on earth. I don't know if it's because of the lack of support or how I was treated, but I won't be going into that in this video. But I found myself mostly depressed, low mood, and the people around you they were not helping the situation. So the only comfort was food. I tried to make some adjustments. I actually tried to look for gyms around. I asked around, but one thing I didn't do was to search online. Um, Oh, and I think I did, but then the accessibility, because I was living in the village here in the UK. I was living deep in a village. So I didn't know how to get to that gym. I did get a car later, but then it didn't occur to me that I could just register. The idea of going that far to the gym I wasn't at that level yet that I could go as far as I want to, to have a gym membership and go work out. So the only thing I then resorted to was to have like friends and get some sports equipment and just start doing sports with them, which was it didn't last long because there's no time, and sport is tricky. For some kind of sport, it's lonely to play sports alone, so you need someone else. And the other person is working, you're working when they're free, they're working when you're free, so it wasn't easy. And then on the flip side, there was convenience store and there was fast food store close by. So I ended up being the person who would always want to, go for the easy food, convenience food, got into eating Chinese fast food. Oh my God, lots of oils. I did like, I still do like their spring rolls though, but I don't eat the spring rolls or those things as much as I used to then. Started getting big, compounded with the emotional health. My physical well being wasn't okay. Emotional health wasn't okay. It was all roller coaster. And then I began to identify that I do not like where I currently am. It's so bad. At a point, I did a blood test and alongside it, my HbA1c, and it turned out that I was pre-diabetic, and that was where the alarm started going off. So I bought myself a home treadmill, but my kind of person, I barely find the drive to work out at home. I'm not comfortable with working out at home. So it's like when you get a treadmill, you work out maybe once in a month or twice in a month. So the treadmill was just there, but at least it was a good move that I had made for myself. And then when I realized that where I wasn't comfortable, I had to make some changes. I had to detach from some certain people who were not encouraging me to be a better person, who were contributing to the dark part of life that I was experiencing. So I moved to the town where I currently stay. And one of the first things I did in the new year was to register for a gym membership. Um, Meanwhile, I got to a point where um, my HbA1c was high, that put me in a pre-diabetic category. However, that raised the alarms, but the alarms were not as high as when I began to um, lose my breath because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't climb a flight of stairs to save my life. Once I finished climbing, I had to, stop and be panting like as if a lion has chased me. Um, at a point, because I used to live in like a one-story building. At a point when I come back from work, I wouldn't bother going upstairs. I'll just crash downstairs, and then the next morning, the only thing that would take me up the stairs it was to go and have a shower before going to work. If I had the ground floor bathroom, I don't know, it would have been I would have been worse off than I actually was. So when I moved to town, the new year came. I think it was in February. I registered in a gym because I wanted to start seeing changes. So, the first month I started going, I saw that the consistency was not there. So I decided to get myself a personal trainer who took me on for as long as I wanted. But then I decided to stop after 1 month mark. The reason I stopped having a personal trainer was because I wanted to see if I would be able to do this by myself without having, to go because I paid somebody and I have to show up. And so I downloaded so many applications that is showing how to lift weight, beginner and gym exercises. I downloaded those apps and I started following the exercises in the apps. I started going to the gym. I started being consistent. It was amazing. I loved how I felt after my training, during and after my training. I loved the grind. I loved the grit. I loved the pain and the fun I was having. Then I met few friends and I worked out together with them. Every day became better than the last, better and better. And I arrived at this point that I am today. I began to have more goals. So my goals shifted right from the very beginning. My goals shifted from wanting to lose weight, and get rid of my pre-diabetes, to wanting to become a new person altogether. I started setting goals that it's beyond like tomorrow, or lose 30 pounds and be okay. No, um, even as I am right now, I still have more goals, that even though I achieve my current physique, the physique that I want to achieve, I still have further goals beyond that physique, you know. So I started setting those goals like further and further. And that is how I see myself. I keep evolving, I keep trying things, I keep delving into stuff. And here I am today. So, enough of the backstory. I hope you picked up one or two things from there. I want to start off by saying, well, I already started, but I want to start off by saying that motivation is temporary. When you think about something, maybe a goal you want to achieve, um, you have this rush of dopamine. It feels really good, like I'm motivated right now. I'm going to, maybe you saw somebody that said they lost 10 pounds in 1 month, and this is what they did. You'd be like, okay, I'm motivated right now, I'm going to do this exact thing. It feels good to be motivated, but the thing is, the motivation does not last. It doesn't last. And this is where you have to develop the mindset of an athlete. It's only the mindset of an athlete that can help you move past motivation. So for you to move past that motivation stage, you have to understand your why. Why am I doing this? I did this for myself because I do not want to develop diabetes, from going from pre-diabetes to diabetes. I do not want to be climbing the stairs anymore and be panting. I do not want to have a future where I will be popping pills because I couldn't do the things that I could do now to change my life for the better. So understand your why. Think about it. Don't just go about starting stuff. Think deeply about it and understand the reason behind the things that you do or the things you desire to do. When you have done that, then you set a goal. There are different types of goals. There are short-term goals, there are medium, and then long-term goals. Um, have these kinds of goals in place. Like for that one, let's say there's a particular thing you want to achieve. Okay, you want to have six packs, for instance. Six packs is a long term goal. Developing six packs by in 1 year's time is a long term goal. Having a flat tummy in 6 months' time is a medium term goal. Now we have to break down that goal to a short term. So you have to measure, say, okay, I measure my waist, it's 105 centimeters. I'm going to now do certain things and certain things and certain things to get down to certain centimeters at this particular time. So simplify that goal. You have a big goal, bring it smaller. Okay, simplify it. In say you're 105 centimeters in your waist measurement. Say by the end of 1 month, I want to be 100 centimeters in my waist. And then action. What are the things you're going to do, to achieve those goals? Okay. Then you start implementing different strategies, which I'm not going to go into here. But the main point here is to have a goal. Have a goal. If it's a long-term goal, if it's a goal, a long-term goal is something, say it might look unrealistic to achieve in the short term. That's how you know it's a long-term goal. So try to break down that goal. You don't have to toss it aside. Try to break it down and just take one part of that goal and say, okay, I'll work towards this in this time frame. And then that in that time frame, and you keep going until you achieve the main big goal. And when you have set goal, you need to understand that you need discipline. Because you have set a goal, in goal setting, you have different tools like there's something called smart goal setting. You have to be specific about the goal you want to achieve. It has to be measurable. Like I just cited an example. You use tape to measure your waist. It's 105 centimeters. So we can track. We are able to track how much of this goal that we are achieving. Okay. And it's attainable. Okay. The goal that you have set is not like you want to lose 30 centimeters in just a month. That is not attainable. So you have to set an attainable goal. Losing 5 centimeters off your waist in 1 month is something that is attainable. Okay. And it has to be realistic as well and time bound. So everything has been clumped into one because I said that time bound is giving ourselves 1 month and is realistic, ideally, for somebody to lose 5 centimeters of their waist with, and what are the things that you're going to do to achieve those goals. So I am going to maybe eat less or finish my last meal at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or drink more water and stop drinking fizzy drinks and alcohol, different things that you put in. So when you have identified those things that you want to do, that is where discipline comes in. So the discipline is what you need to stick to the goal, to stick to the actions that lead you to the goal. You just have to close your eyes and do what you have to do. You have to put it at the back of your mind that you're just the only person that you have. You don't have anybody else. If you don't look after yourself, nobody's going to look after you. So you have to be disciplined. You have to set your mind towards what you want to do and do what you say that you will do. And that discipline then has to be what? Consistent. Okay. So you don't just discipline yourself and eat by 6 p.m. maximum today, and then you forget about it till the next 2 weeks. No, you have to keep repeating that action of discipline. You have to continuously repeat that, and keep going and keep going and keep going. In the act of repetition, the act of consistency is what will help you to master the art of discipline. If you don't repeat something, it's not going to be a habit. You're not going to get used to it. You wake up every morning. If the first thing you do is to open your phone, it's a habit. You keep doing it. But if the first thing, when you wake up in the morning, if the first thing you do is to go and have a wee, step on the scale, check your weight before having a glass of water, it's going to turn out like that. So consistency, okay, is equally a habit. Is continue to do that thing that is leading to your goal. Continue to do that. The next thing I want to say is be flexible. Okay. There are days or times or situations that are not perfect or ideal. Be flexible, be malleable. How do you change the situation to still suit your needs? I give an example. Recently in my town, there is a major bridge that has now been blocked off because there is roadworks going on. So in my town, there is lots of traffic. There's every tendency. Now going to the gym, maybe before driving, it's like maybe 8, 10 minutes, 12 minutes max. But now driving to the gym can take me up to 40 minutes. Yes, it is that bad. Then I can just give an excuse and say, okay, I'm not going because I can't drive to the gym. No, I looked at the map and calculated how much driving time do I require compared to walking time. I realized that the walking time is equal or even lesser than the driving time. Then I planned earlier. Okay, instead of leaving for the gym at this normal time that I used to leave because I drive, I'm going to leave way earlier so that I can walk, and that walk counts as my steps for the day. So I don't even need to do like super extra cardio in the gym. So that walk has counted as my cardio. So you have to be flexible. And then there are times whereby I'm short on time. Okay, I can't get to the gym, but I need to get my workout in. I only have 30 minutes to do this. Then I make a decision saying, do I go for a run, or do I do a home workout? Then I prioritize what I really want. If I go for a run, I'm still going to go to work. That is too much of cardiovascular because at work I'll still be getting some steps in. So I'd rather stay home and do quick weight exercises with a light dumbbell, but then adjust the dumbbell in such a way, adjust the movement in such a way that it feels as heavy and as painful as if you were using a heavy dumbbell or heavier barbell. So be flexible. Don't be rigid. Don't be like, oh, if this is not this, if this is not like this, I can't. Like, don't have that kind of attitude. Have an attitude that if one door closes, another one is opening. If all the doors close, there is a window. Have that kind of mindset. Be flexible. When you get to the gym, say your coach has given you a program and says, do a hack squat, and then proceed to say a Smith machine squat, and then proceed to, and they prefer you to go through the exercise in that pattern. But you get to the gym, the hack squat is occupied, the Smith machine is occupied, the only available machine is the leg press, which may be part of your program. Don't say, oh, I have to sit down and wait for 30 minutes for this person who just started the training to finish their exercise before you start. No. Go and do the leg press. By the time you finish doing your leg press, the calf press machine is free. Do your calf. When you finish, the hack squat is ready. Have thoughts like that. And the next thing I want you to consider is to develop a mental agility, mental toughness. It's not easy. The grind is painful, and whatever it is that is good does not come easy. So develop a mental agility, develop that mental toughness, develop that determined mindset that, yeah, I know this is painful, but I'm going to go through this and finish it. I'm going to go through this and finish it. It's hard, but it's beneficial for me. It's hard, but it's gainful for me. I can see my future at the end of this. So develop that mindset that whatever you start, finish it well. Not just dropping it halfway, but finish it well. Okay? Go into it, start it, go through the process, and complete it. Don't give up in between. Okay, you want to do an intermittent fasting of 16 hours, and you've been, training yourself towards the 16 hours. But then maybe you went to work and there's someone brought in a donut at 14 hours mark. You already said you're going to do 16 hours. There's nothing stopping you from, if you want to eat the donut, there's nothing stopping you from take a kitchen towel, take a portion of the donut you want to eat, wrap it up, lock it away, and wait for your 16 hours. Tell yourself, I will wait. The donut is not running away. I will wait and I will complete my intermittent fasting. That is the kind of mindset an athlete has. The next thing I want to talk about is to give yourself constant positive reassurance. Okay. Um, it is so easy for us to, when we fall, we think of ourselves as failure. We think, oh, what's the point? I cannot do anything for myself. No, that's not who you are. A momentary fail, a momentary downfall does not translate to who you are or who you wish to become. So don't let that, trip you off and make you think less of yourself. So you have to give yourself constant positivity. It's garbage in, garbage out, right? It's also goodness in, goodness out, love in, love out, positive in, positive out. You cannot express what you don't intake. So if you give yourself lots of negative energy, you're going to express that. If you give yourself, on the other side, lots of positive energy, you see the energy, they're going to be positive as well. So try to stay on the positive side. See the good things out of, bad things or bad situations. Always see the good side of things and tell yourself, um, I am beautiful, I'm powerful, I have achieved my goals. Um, I'm 6 pounds lighter at the end of the month. I can see myself 6 pounds lighter. I can see myself with much flatter abs. I can see my waist size go down, you know, at the end of the month. This mishap does not define me. This little mistake does not say this is who I am. Um, I see a better future. I see a strong-willed me. I see myself achieving my goals. I see myself fitting into that particular cloth that I target to fit in. So constantly put yourself in good shoes, okay? Don't always imagine yourself stuck in negativity. Don't even allow negativity around you. Okay, just move past it. Yeah, whatever, a mistake has happened. So what? Why do you have to dwell in there? Why do you, because you had one cheat day, why do you have to carry on cheating for the rest of the month? Okay, okay, day one, you had a cheat day. Day two, you were trying to get back, you still fell. Day three, okay, pick yourself up. Day four, don't keep going down and down and down. You go down in order to spring back up, not to keep going down. So always speak positivity to yourself. Always think positive, okay? Think good thoughts for yourself. Be kind to yourself, all right? That's that for positivity. And the last thing I want to mention is to have a vision of your end result. Have a vision of where you want to be. Imagine, if you're somebody who doesn't have a creative mindset, like if you can't see pictures in your mind, you can as well use external pictures. Look at a picture of somebody you wish to have their body type. Like, it's not that you will have the exact body type, because all our bodies are different, but this is the direction you want to go, and have something similar where it's more suitable to your body type. Get what I mean? Like myself, when I started all these things, I think 1 year, 2 years into that, I saw, some lovely looking figures and shapes that I think I liked. And I downloaded those pictures and printed them off and pasted by my bedside and some on my fridge. And once I wake up, I see it. Once I go by the fridge, I see it, because this is where I want to be. Okay. In my capacity, this is where I want to be. It's not like you want to duplicate that person, but you're chasing the goal to match up to that specification that you have seen yourself at. So the Bible say, you should write down the vision, so that those who see it will run with it. You're the one who has the vision. Write it down or print it off or do anything, and then run with it. If you keep seeing something, you're more likely to become that thing you're seeing constantly. Okay, so don't Don't limit yourself to what you can just see like your immediate future. Don't limit yourself to now. Don't limit yourself even to your past. Don't ever say that you cannot achieve those things. Don't ever do that to yourself. Keep your visions clear. Let it be set clearly. All right. And apply all those principles of an athlete, what makes an athlete an athlete. And you'll see yourself 2 years, 3 years, you're banging. All right. Thank you for watching. And this is the end of my video. I hope that you liked it. Please comment and make sure to share, subscribe, and like, and do everything. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.